evening, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My name is Daniel Ginzburg. I'm going to represent the city. Today, I want to start off by saying that a lot will change in the next couple of minutes. In the next few minutes, I'm going to let you know about the facts of a tragic case that involved reckless conduct and complete disregard for human life and completely inhumane actions. Now, you see, we live during very interesting times where things are made easy and accessible. And in case if, let's say, you're in a situation where you are intoxicated and you have to get somewhere, you have options. You can call a cab. You have Uber. You have Lyft. You have options to avoid doing what Ms. Payton has done in this case. And in this case, what she did is got behind a wheel of a vehicle, a deadly weapon, intoxicated, and went out on the road. A road full of cars, people, children, and guess what happened? She hit somebody. She sideswiped somebody's car, and the impact, completely recklessly, and the impact of that hit was so great that a vehicle that is a 2-ton vehicle shifted, making a liquid in a cup that the person had, Miss Edison, in that car, spilled. Now, do you know what that liquid was? It was a 200 Fahrenheit coffee. And it didn't just spill somewhere. It spilled on her hand. And for somebody, okay, so you spilled it on the hand, might not be such a great deal, but in this case, it was a big deal for two different reasons. Number one, this is a second-degree burn, meaning that the burn actually went through the first, second layer of the skin, almost hitting the muscle of the hand. And for somebody, it might not be such a great deal. You know, if you are a programmer, then maybe your hand is not as important because you could be using your other hand. But in this case, it was very significant. This is an injury that took away from Miss Addison significantly because she was a carpenter. This injury took away from her livelihood and ability to earn money, possibly feed her family, possibly provide for those who matter in her life the most, including herself. And with that said, I wish the story ended there, but it doesn't. You see, after committing such an act, see, a normal person would think, well, maybe I should stop. Maybe I should see if the person in that car is all right. Not mistaken. Continue driving without even looking back, without even for a single second exercising the thought that maybe she should stop, that maybe she should come up to the vehicle and see if what has happened, maybe explain herself, exchange insurance information, or maybe get somebody to the scene. Maybe the other person needs, no, nothing. Continue driving. See, I do believe in second chances. Now, we might make mistakes, not all perfect. And Ms. Payton, she had a second chance. She messed up. We don't mess up. And she had a chance to correct it. Now, when Officer Baldwin arrived at her house, her residence, he asked her, so was that your car? You know, and that just hit Mr. Addison. And that was her moment. That was her moment to say, you know what, I've never been involved in this before or something, got nervous, hit him, didn't know what to do. I had a passenger in the car, and I just, you know what, I will be, it my fault. She says, I didn't do it. Well, okay, so what about the scratches on your car, on your passenger side, matching the scratches on Mr. Edison's driver's side? What about that? I don't know. I didn't do it. But what about the make, model, color, matching the description that Mr. Edison is provided to precisely match your vehicle that I'm observing at your parked right next to your house right now as we speak? What about all that? I don't know. I didn't do it. But what about the sign? The sign with your company's name that is on your car, which is the same sign that Mr. Edison reported being on the car that sideswiped him. What about that? I have no idea. It just wasn't me. Complete and total lack of responsibility. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. I understand if you committed something that it wasn't favorable for somebody else, but at least take some responsibility for it. But this is why we're here today. This is why we're here today. So, a couple of facts that I definitely want to draw your attention to is that will explain further the magnitude of the situation and further prove all the facts that will be at issue that the defense will try to disprove. I want to lay it out for you right now so that we have no confusion in moving on into this case and you're not going to be swayed by the persuasions of the defense that might be, unfortunately, get off Miss Bateman from a crime that she did commit. At this point, we have two crimes. We have driving under the influence, and we have felony sitting around. Driving under the influence, we got numbers. BAC level, blood alcohol content level. Specifically, so the accident happened at 7:35. At 9:30, Officer Baldwin administers the breathalyzer test. And it shows to be a 0.06. Now, the legal limit is 0.08. However, this is 2 hours later. And here's where the defense is going to say, oh, well, it was 0.06, and she only drank 2 beers, and at least that's what she says. We don't know that. We don't know how many beers she drank. We have we don't have any information about how much alcohol she actually consumed. It could be more than 2 beers. The receipt had 7 purchased beers. But here, what we do know is that she failed the field sobriety test. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. What we do know is that an expert, specifically by the name Dr. Kipper Williams, after a scientific observation and hard-proven facts, has come to a scientific conclusion that at the time of the accident, Miss Bateman had a blood alcohol level 0.09 to 0.11, way above the allowed limit. And the defense will also stress that the breathalyzer, the intoxicator 5000 that was used, is inaccurate. The machine is used widely to determine the blood alcohol level. It is reliable, it is consistent, and it will be used to prove the BAC that was indeed established in this case. Now, another part that you should be aware of is the road condition. So the defense will talk about how we had some uneven concrete, and they'll put all these pictures on the wall of uneven concretes and potholes and all that. First of all, 2 points to that. If you see uneven concrete on the road, a reasonable, prudent, unintoxicated person, under the circumstances, would slow down. They wouldn't side-swipe another car. I mean, just think about the cognitive state that Miss Payton was in. If by avoiding uneven concrete, supposedly, she decides to think that hitting another car, side-swiping it miserably, was going to be a better option. There was potholes, sure. I looked at the pictures. There is a pothole there, sure, but it's covered, and the level of the metal cover is completely on the level of the concrete, as of the pothole is not even there.